Guys, what's going on? It's another episode of Knights Around the Table podcast. Unfortunately, this week we are missing Eagle Spray. We're only on the second episode, but we're already missing somebody. This is a great schedule we got going so far. We were supposed to be doing it weekly, but then we kind of got sidetracked. So every 3 weeks, I guess, is what we're shooting for now, because that's good what we got so far. But this week we have a special guest, the lead singer of Afterimage, a good friend of all of ours. Say hello to Gabi! How are things going with you, Gabi? Jesus. Ooh. Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to give a real quick message. Unfortunately, this time... Well, hold on. Put the flag in there. There it is. I just wanted to give a real quick message to everybody. Unfortunately, this week, a little bit of the recording has messed up. The audio for the Discord actually wasn't, able to be heard from the other guys for the first, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure that the only questions we got through were, who are you today, a timeline of the band, and how would you describe your band, which is pretty unfortunate because those are some pretty telling, questions that we asked Griffin or Gabi. But just a quick, summary, I asked him how he was doing. He said he's just trying to get through quarantine times because it's difficult on everybody, and especially with him in the band, they don't have much going on right now, but they're trying to keep stuff going. And he said he gave a really good timeline of the band, and hopefully next time that he comes on I can get him to reiterate it. I can try and find a different way. I may have to re-upload at some point because I can give a better synopsis. But at the moment, unfortunately, we'll just have to skip over those questions a little bit and head straight on into the part where you can hear him. There'll still be time stamps down below and everything as usual. But unfortunately, those questions were just impossible to hear them, and that's all on me. So I take the blame, and I apologize. But we'll be back and ready to do this again, hopefully next week. Because I don't want to have to take weeks off like this all the time. I may have to, but yeah. And like I say in the video a lot, everything will be linked down in the description if you want to go check him or his band out. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching again, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. So take care, guys. All right. Technical difficulties aside, now that we're back, there'll be a summation little video right before we get back into this, and I'll remember exactly what happened and everything to get up to this point. Sorry about that, everybody watching, but anyways, we can continue on. So yeah, we were just talking about everything that had happened up to this point, and I actually was wondering, since right before we were talking about your last EP, Temperance, I was wondering where how did you guys find a studio to do that? Did you guys just find one in New Hampshire and start recording, or did you know somebody and with us hookup?
Yeah, it was my drummer's professor, actually. That was his own independent studio that he runs out of his garage. Mm-hmm. So we just pretty much linked up through him through the school, and then we went over to his house, and in 2 days we banged it all out. I mean, we only recorded drums and vocals because that's the pretty high fidelity stuff that you can't really replicate in just Pro Tools on your laptop. But yeah, we did drums and vocals there. And then, yeah, we knew him. It was actually kind of cool because Andy's drumming teacher is friends with the drummer from Killswitch Engage. And he actually came to Keen one time. Yeah, came to Keen one time and did a workshop. And so we were able to meet him, which was pretty interesting.
Wait, I feel like I remember you telling me this because we got into Killswitch Engaged a few times, for a month or something, and we were just listening to it, and I'm pretty sure that came up.
Yeah, at the gym, I remember that.
Yeah. Jarhead, do you have anything you want to say, ask, or anything?
So, there's a lot that I could ask. I was in a band, but it's just kind of cool seeing as I kind of seen you and Noah grow up a little bit because I grew up with Noah, and I'd see pictures of you, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know him. I've heard his name and stuff. and all of a sudden I like look at my Instagram and I'm following Afterimage. I'm like, bro, like I know that guy. We got the same dream. Like we follow in the same thing. It's cool. And I was just wondering like how it feels to go into studios and stuff, like because I feel like everyone feels like a kid still most of the time. Like I don't feel like people really grow up real easily. So I feel like a lot of people still have a heart of a kid, especially as like if you're an artist yourself. I feel like a lot of that because my friend told me one time that most artists have a kid-like heart because without that, then we have no creativity. I was wondering how you feel about going into studios for your first time and stuff like that.
You mean like recording, or just physically going into studios and stuff? Oh, I don't really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I get nervous. I just want to do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy the end product, but normally going in, I'm just focused on like not
messing up,
sucking. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I wouldn't trade that fear or that worry for anything. So I know what you mean, for sure.
Helps you perform.
I definitely get in my own head before we go and do stuff. So
that reminds me back in the day when we went to what bar was it that you were playing in? You were playing in some bar, and Zach and I drove down to see you guys, and right before the what was it? The show started, we went to like meet you. Oh, it was like one of those things where you went to the bar and you guys were like competing against everybody else that played that night. And we met you before in the bathroom, and you're like, dude, I need a jewel rip. Come on, man. Who's got it? I know somebody's got it. Who's got it? Like, all right.
These are pretty far behind me at this point.
Yeah, we all moved on from that for the better, but it's fun memories
I
to
could
just.
Go for jewel rip right now, but
you know. Wouldn't say no, eh?
No, I would.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
I would. Gotta take it seriously, you know.
Oh yeah, keep going down. Yeah, please. All right. So I wonder, what was the most influential moment in your career so far? One that you've seen, like most influential on you as a person that you've witnessed, and then that you've experienced yourself. So like the idea of like, okay, say if I was a pro basketball player, right? When I was a kid, I watched somebody else perform, and that was super influential on how I am. But then whatever you do yourself, you know, I'm pretty sure you got it. But just to give it an example.
So, I don't know. I mean, when we were at Keene doing all these shows and like the basement shows, like our last show was our craziest show, and you were there, you know, just like, and we've been playing that same basement for 3 years, and I'm gonna let you know right now, it didn't start that way. Like, that was 2.5 years of consistently just like being in a band, and every part of your social aspect when you go out is you're the kid in the band, and you got gigs every weekend, and you practice 3 times a week, and you're just trying to get better and better and pushing your craft. And then like at the end of that 2.5-year period where we were just busting our asses, like that was like the payoff of like our peers, like our classmates like cared. Like that was like pretty influential on me, knowing that like we could all put ourselves out there creatively, and with enough hard work and with enough dedication and being genuine, like people did care. I mean, you were there, the basement was packed.
Yeah.
Everyone was loving it. Like, and I think also getting into that, we just got published over in a magazine over in Europe. That was also pretty like, it hit me pretty hard that like, okay, cool. Like it was just like, okay, like, you know, something that I did is across the world right now in a magazine. I thought it was pretty cool. It was a humbling experience, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty insane, and especially like I don't know. You talk about small towns, small states, like shit doesn't really pop off in that sort of way. You know, people go on to do stuff, but like that's just different. You know, just hashtag built different.
When they're like,
Bro.
I mean, yeah, because there was I can't remember his name, but I remember his brother. He went out to Las Vegas and he became a pretty big. What's his name?
You talking about Hall? Parker Hall.
Yeah, his older brother. He's doing stuff musically, and that's the only other kid I've really heard of, like from this area of the country, that's even remotely done anything.
And they weren't even from there. They were from
Texas, right, or something.
Kentucky. Where's the last Super Bowl winners? That's where they were from. Who were the last Super Bowl winners? Anybody got that? It was Patrick Mahomes and the. Oh shit! I don't watch football. City. They were from Kansas.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
So they moved from Kansas to New Hampshire, and then they moved back, I think. So they knew people, you know. They were from a huge place. So.
Yeah.
But like.
I mean, I wasn't exactly like. No, I was gobby.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people tell me that they never saw me doing this, and you know, I don't really know what that means, but whatever. I appreciate the sentiment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just supposed to be like they never expected. I mean, that's just how they limit themselves. They limit onto each like other people, but you know, whatever.
I mean, that's how it is. And I don't know, the most influential on me, like something that I've seen. I think it's just like. You hear all these stories about these bands that are in the exact position that my band's in right now, and there's a line in the sand where you have to decide whether you're going to risk it all for it, or if you're just going to give up. You know, it's like I remember I was watching this thing and it was talking about Dave Grohl over in Seattle, and he was saying that. People like younger kids and struggling bands used to come up to him and basically tell him that, oh, it must be nice, you're in Nirvana, like you must not even understand like what we're dealing with these days. And Dave Grohl was like, dude, I was in your exact position. Like I was doing the shitty gigs 3 times a week, barely getting paid shit for years. And like when he said it, it was like, okay, it really isn't about, I mean, it does have to do with the music, but it's more about like your understanding of what you want to do combined with your passion and drive to do it.
Yeah.
So just hearing about all these like other bands making it and their stories and like how they went about it and how all the odds were stacked against them, but they just kept going and they kept doing what they loved, and like it ended up working out for them. It's pretty inspiring. Like I'm not expecting like much out of anything really. But I'm surprised that we've made it as far as we have, you know. I think I said that in the Instagram post. If I told you 2 years ago that I was published in a magazine over in Europe, you know, we wouldn't have believed it. So, it's just a matter of just going after it, getting the fuck after it.
And that's credit to you guys. Like you really have up to this point. I mean, you've kept with it even through some times where it looked kind of like rough or like some hard decisions had to come through, and you guys have stuck with it, and you guys have evolved the entire time. Like I remember, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but when you first started singing, it wasn't like you were on the level you are now. Like you've completely evolved as a creator, and
I was dog ass. Now I'm not saying I'm any good. I'm not saying I'm any good now, but like I was fucking horrible. I was jack trash.
It's just like, night and day.
Can't even listen to it.
Fair enough.
I'm not gonna knock myself because you know I had to you know suck at one point to get where I'm at now, and where I'm at now could suck in a year, or it could be the best I was at. You know, that's just kind of how it is.
That's the thing. I think if you like want to be an all-time great at anything, you have to hope that next year where you're at now, you like you look back and you think you sucked. Like no matter how amazing you are at something, if you really want to be like one of those people, you just gotta hope that in 1 year you'll look back and you just think, man, I fucking sucked. Like, this is disgusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I was about to say in about 2 years you're gonna say the same thing now.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, Jarhead, in like a year you could probably be the greatest rapper of all time, but
I'm not really going for rap.
this year you sucked.
It's more of, I'm gonna go for I mean, right now I'm in audio recording, so I can basically, I'm starting like this big ass group of kids basically around my area, and we're gonna make music together. We're gonna buy a studio. Like, we're gonna get a shitload of money to buy a studio, and we're gonna fucking record a whole lot of songs, like a shitload of songs, shitload of artists, everything.
Isn't that what you're going to school for?
I'm gonna be a producer, but I'm also gonna buy music.
JPEG Mafia did something like that. Like he did that out over in Japan, and also like XXX and all that crew.
Yeah.
They just start like a huge.
What's that fucking? What do you want to call it?
The Worst Generation, as a reference to One Piece, because the fucking whole generation of One Piece, like the main characters, is called the Worst Generation, and like the new kids and all that, like people like trying to get famous is like, we're gonna call ourselves the Worst Generation. I guess, I don't know, it'd be cool.
You better not spoil anything. You better not spoil anything. I'm on that shit right now.
Yeah, bro.
I'm grinding One Piece.
9 years to watch.
I'm grinding. 972 episodes, dude.
983 now.
It's fucking ridiculous, bro. Like,
I'm on it.
You gotta start somewhere, man. I thought it was over 1,000 up to that point, but
they already talked about the ending.
Dude, there's also you know, the New Hampshire boys. You gotta look out for them up and coming. But
don't get me going on that,
bro. I have, you know, whatever. Well, that's a different conversation for a different day. But all right, I have a big one that's gonna put you on the spot. Actually, it might not, because I feel like we've probably talked about this a lot. We used to talk about top fives all the time, but I'll give you a top 5 bands of all time, and go. That's you.
Black Sabbath, Rush, Tool, My Morning Jacket, and always that last one.
Exactly.
It sounded like you almost said Zeppelin.
Not a big Zeppelin guy.
I heard this like
Fucking Mudvayne.
Mudvayne?
Yep.
I've never heard of them before.
I just dig them a lot lately. I've been vibing with them.
I'm happy that Sabbath is your first.
Oh, sure.
I thought you were gonna... Sorry, go ahead.
Sabbath's what got me into music.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Why Warpig? I wanted to ask that for so long. Like, what happened to make you want to do a cover of Warpig?
We all just kind of like Black Sabbath, and then it's a long song. We normally do that song during bar sets. It's a good way to kill 10 minutes. That's pretty much the only reason we do it.
You guys are really badass at it too. I gotta say that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I thought you were gonna say like Deftones or not Grateful Dead. I knew a little bit better than that, but I mean, it could have been there.
I guess Deftones could be in place of Mudvayne, but I don't know where I'm at right now. It's just kind of, I don't. It's all subjective, but
it definitely changes, like always.
Oh, sure, I think Tool, Black Sabbath, and Rush will always be in like my top 3.
Yeah, they're
and then
nasty.
Everything after that kind of changes.
Yeah, they're all ridiculous in their own right. I think like Rush, Black Sabbath, Tool, like they all have different parts of them, and like that are just on another level than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, entirely their own.
Exactly. I mean, I don't usually listen to them personally on like a day-to-day basis, but when I do, you can definitely hear like just how legendary and just how influential they are on the next generation and after that, and you know, they're still good today. So
Oh sure.
Timeless. Actually, I have on my questions list, I literally just have Tool written down, just Tool. because I knew Tool was like a big influence on you as well. And I was going to I was just going to be like, just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Tool. Not that you have like a personal one, but just like your life relationship, I guess. But
so, I really didn't even know about Tool until junior year, and
of high school,
of college. Yeah, and for a while with Afterimage, when it came to like writing original material, I didn't really know how to approach it. I didn't really know what I was going for. I didn't really understand much about anything that was going on up in my head, and I don't really now still, but I feel like I have a better way to articulate it. But I think Tool was the first time I ever realized that music can be this like raw emotional outlet like that. Like I kind of looked at music differently. I think when the first time I saw Tool, it kind of opened my eyes to just how vulnerable someone could be.
Mm-hmm.
Because even with all the greats, Black Sabbath, Rush, even a band like Deftones, even a band like Led Zeppelin, it always kind of felt like it was a character that the singer or the artist was portraying. But something about Tool and Maynard just it was very authentic. Like, and don't get me wrong, he's definitely still playing a character, but it feels like he's really giving you like a lot of himself. Yeah, what's up? You heading out? Alright.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a podcast with Noah.
Oh.
Hi.
That's Hannah. That's my sister.
Yes, sir.
So, where was I? Yeah, it was just the first time I realized that, I don't know, it just kind of changed my perspective about, like, how you can sing,
Mm-hmm.
what singing is supposed to accomplish, and, like, I mean, for a while there, like, I was like, it was like a double-edged sword, because you find a guy that you personally relate to a lot and you admire, and then you don't want to fall too far down that rabbit hole of like losing your own identity.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I'm at that spot now. Like I got to pull back a little bit, but I don't know. Tool was just an eye opener. It was like an epiphany for me.
Mm-hmm. And like that moment, like I remember, because the reason I always like thought that you have like, or at least I think that you have this like super huge connection with them, is like whenever we would go somewhere, there would always be like, we would always listen to Tool at least once every trip or something like that. And it's not, that wasn't like a bad thing, but like there was always like a different way you would speak of them, and it kind of shows like you always, your stage persona was kind of like crafted after Maynard a little bit. But I think you've definitely come a long way in finding your own person, you know, like being your own stage persona. But also that
I appreciate that.
yeah, of course. And that what was it their debut album that had that moment on it that like you talk about a lot too? Like it was like the thing that's the phone call that Maynard got from his landlord.
Oh, Disgustipated? Yeah, that's off their debut.
Like that, whenever we would have conversations about that, they also just seemed a little bit more like a lot deeper than people, or at least I think people would give them credit for. I don't know. I don't really know how the general public views Tool, to be honest, but
Pretty pretentious, but I mean, you know, everybody's got something bad to say about everything.
That's true.
I got something that's bad to say about myself. So, you know, I don't know. I think people like them.
yeah. All right. This is gonna be kind of weird, I guess, because I don't know, but what's something you've always wanted to be asked but nobody's ever asked you before? Maybe it could be related to the band, it could be related to anything, like just something you've always, because you know, maybe that's just me, But I think sometimes, like, damn, like, I think about the answer to a question I've never been asked, and it really hypes me up for no reason. But do you ever have, like, those moments where it's like, I hope somebody asks me this one day. This is your moment. This is your time to shine.
Yeah. It's like a flex. You gotta flex it.
It's very open. If it's very open ended, so it's completely fine. If there's nothing.
I really enjoy people caring enough to ask and like wanting to ask to begin with. I honestly look at every time somebody asks me a question from anything that I've ever even bothered creating with me and my bandmates, it's like that in itself is pretty much like a, you know, it's like even though I know you and even though I know Jarhead here, I'm still sitting on my laptop talking to you about something that we all really care about.
Yeah.
And you two respect me enough to care and do research and ask me about my influences, ask me who I care about. I think that in itself is like, I'm not very much like I don't want to get my head too high up there, because if it doesn't happen, that crash is going to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the idea that people care, like knowing that people care, people asking me questions and showing that they care is like probably the greatest question that could be asked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really appreciate when people look at our songs and they ask me about lyrics. I think asking about lyrics is really cool because it shows that they care enough to even pay attention, you know. Or people notice something I've said, or they notice how I'm acting, or like that. It's fun. It's nice, I guess. All of this.
Yeah. So that time that you said that you were just fucking numb, like what did you really mean there? Had to bring it back to that one.
Just fucking numb.
That's iconic, and that's I hate to be that guy to tell you, but that's never going away. That's just iconic.
But, I got a question.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Do you have a song that you think would, if it were to blow up, you would hate it? Because when I wrote some of my songs, I had I had that one song, and it was called "So Long Goodbye," and I loved it. I was like, bro, if we got this out here, we'd blow up, and I'd fucking hate it, and I'd hate its fucking guts, but I love it right now.
See, so we have a song called Locust that's like it's a year old at this point, and I don't mind the song, but I hate performing it because it's a lot harder than I thought it would be to perform. It's just not a fun song to sing, and but we have another song called 6 Seconds that I fucking hate. I hate that song. And I didn't want to release it, but I mean we did, and you know, even though I don't personally like the song, like it still meant a lot to people. Like we've had people tell me that it's our favorite song, and even though I don't like it, like all those moments would have been lost, you know. So, and that's just being in a band with 4 dudes, is just, you know, sometimes you have to suck it up and you have to let things happen, because it's the ends are going to justify the means, you know what I'm saying? Like you record that song that you can't fucking stand because you want to make your bandmates happy. That's going to reciprocate its way, hopefully in the future, you know. But
on the real though, who the fuck likes 6 seconds like that much?
Said, yeah, 6 Seconds is my favorite song, and you look at you're fucking
like wait a second, what? I mean, it's not a bad song.
Never buy my shit again, ever.
It's not a bad song, but they said it's their favorite.
Yeah, typically it's an older crowd of people. It's not really
okay.
It's not really in the 30 and under squad, which is like our demographic that's going to give us like a platform to be successful. It's like the older people that kind of passively look at music and like kind of talk about it, but they're not going to be like fanatics, you know. And you need fans. You need fans to be successful. And the song did well. I mean, like we were number one Boston emissions for I think 6 or 5 weeks. That song was a number one.
Oh my god, that's right.
But you look at our numbers now, and that song has not done well, like on our streaming whatsoever. Like
that's really good. That
it's below songs that we dropped on the EP that weren't singles. You know? So it's like, what did that really do for us? It was just hot air. But it did give people some good moments, and you know, as a band, as a guy that's singing, like that's all I could really ask for, is that you create something that people love and emotionally connect with. Even if you don't like it, like that's still an honor. And you always have those examples of like these bands that were forced to make songs they didn't like, or forced to do so and so to make people happy or make a record label happy. And it comes down to, you have to keep your artistic integrity, but you have to also understand that it's a business. You are a business. You are nothing more than a number. Nobody gives a fuck about anything that you have to say, and they're just trying to make money off of you. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's a compromise that you're going to have to get used to if you want to be successful. You have to figure out the perfect balance of a compromise and artistic, genuine integrity. But what kind of annoyed me with 6 Seconds is it felt like we were trying to make a radio hit when we had nobody telling us to make a radio hit. Yeah. And it was just like, why?
Yeah, the old thing about all the albums is like, or at least with rap albums, is like you need a club banger, you need a radio hit, you need like all these things, but it's like, those guys are fucking, they have like people telling them that they need this stuff, like you're gonna fail if you don't. It's like, you guys are still kind of at the, you guys aren't like small, but you guys are still kind of in the moment where it's like you guys can make what kind of you want to make. It's like nobody's telling you like, this needs to be something that's gonna play on the radio. So
I mean, for sure, that's definitely been like, it's been, well, you want to be successful, like you want to be successful so bad, like you just want to have security in something that provides none. And it's really easy to look at like, oh, this is a catchy chorus, this is a very simple, easy to understand song that's going to turn over really well for a mass market. But it's like, at the same time, if you aren't genuine and you aren't doing it from a place that's sincere, and it's not your best stuff, and it's not what you want to offer to the people that listen to you, it's not going to be anything beneficial in the long run, you know? But it's like, sometimes you have to set aside the fear of failing for the fear of being content with the product that you put out. I mean, you hear about that all the time. There's always a band that, like Rush, one of the best bands of all time, almost didn't even have a career. They were going to get dropped by the record label if their next album that they released wasn't successful. And you want to know what they did? They dropped, at the time, the longest song ever recorded. It was anything but a radio hit, and then they catapulted themselves into a 30-year career off of that one album, 2112. That's a direct antithesis to the state of mind that you need to conform to make other people happy. They made themselves happy, and it was genuine and honest, and that carried over in the long run. And I don't understand the train of thought that you have to sacrifice what you enjoy to make other people happy, because at the end of the day, we make music that we enjoy, and we don't want to have to, you know.
You get people interested on the fact that, you know, you make what you like, and you'll find other people who like that same exact thing. You don't make it for like the people who aren't going to listen to you. Like, why the fuck would you do that, you know?
I mean, it's not like we're fucking, you know, hate breed. It's not like we're fucking, like, we're not, the sound we have is not niche. Like, we're alternative rock in 2020. Like, music is so much more than the one path to follow. Like, it doesn't have to sound like this, and this for us to be successful. Sure, it might be harder at first to like get reception, but like music is so broad now that any subgenre of really anything can get. I mean, JPEG Mafia has a fucking rap career. Have you heard that man's music?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, honestly.
It is incoherent. It's honest.
Yeah.
It's honest. And he has a career off that. And like, when I see someone like him doing whatever the fuck he wants for many albums, touring across the world off that, you're not going to convince me that I need to write a radio hit to be successful, you know?
With some of his songs too, it's almost insane that he's considered a rapper. because like he does very little of that kind of stuff, but he makes like raw, like legitimate songs, but they're just not like what you would think would be rap. But it doesn't have to be, you know.
Well, it's pushing a boundary. That's why he's successful, is because he doesn't sound like anyone else. And you can only do a 4-chord pop song so many times before that's about it.
And in the rap genre as it is, it's become so fucking cookie cutter nowadays that it's just like it kind of needs somebody like him, especially with like what's coming out right now. The fucking all the award shows are like absolutely rigged.
Certified Lover Boy, come on.
Oh, dude. Like, when Savage by Meg Thee Stallion wins the best video, the best song, like, can you wake up, like, for a second and just... Oh, my gosh. And there hasn't been... It's not like there's been bad music only released this year. Like, that would actually be, like, the best song of the year. It's just... it's influencers. It's just, like, all these things that cloud the reality of like is this a good song? No, but it's got so many plays, it's got so many people listening to it, it's got so many people talking about it that it's like if we don't give the award away to them, then we're not going to get as many views ourselves, and just like shit like that. That's kind of like off topic, but
so I don't it's just sad.
Yeah.
I mean, rap as a genre is pretty incredible. It has a lot of stuff to offer, but it just gets really sad when they're just picking industry plants that can be sexualized and, you know,
WAP, man.
filtered.
Hashtag WAP.
Oh my God.
I don't even know. See, I perfectly respect the sentiment of that song. I'm 100% down for women expressing their sexuality with absolutely no shame. But it still has to be a good song.
Yeah.
It has to be good. You can't just say, I'm empowered, and then put a bunch of whatever the fuck, and then, like, just say, oh, it's good because it's empowering. And then if you look at the context of the song, it's really not even that empowering because they're just talking about pleasing men the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
It's just not... I don't know. But, you know, like, they made that song for a reason, you know? They probably had an A&R guy telling them that this would be super controversial for Christians. And, I mean, that's what got rock on the map. I mean, people were fucking rioting about rock and roll being devil's music, and now it's rap. And look at rap. It's the #1 genre in the world. It's just, they hit a market that's fresh and new. And, I mean, they are talking about important issues. They're just going about them in
the completely backwards way, I would say. But
I mean, yeah, it is a problem that people are reacting that way to female empowerment. But it's not a problem that people are grossed out by the way they articulated it. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't think anybody was going to fucking slob on my knob as an example of, like, proper male etiquette. It was a joke.
Yeah.
But then you have people, like, championing, or what is it?
Championing.
Championing, or what, I can't even say that word, but like they're putting that on the pedestal of what it means to be an empowered woman, and it just feels like 1 step forward and 6 steps back.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, I'm a white boy from Bath, New Hampshire, that has a population of 500 kids, so I really don't have any opinion on any of this.
I'm from the.
I hate that shit so much.
I'm not even from there, but
opinion matters, but not yours.
If anybody couldn't tell, maybe I shouldn't be flying this in the background. Are people gonna get mad at me for using a United States / Canada flag? I don't even know, but fuck it.
I'm sure that's racist to somebody, dude.
Yeah.
It's degrading like culture. The Canadian.
I'm a culture vulture. You know, that's just how it is. But
what are they gonna do? Yell at you? You're too nice, bro.
Not enough people watch anyway, so fuck it. All right. I think this is the last one. I can barely read my handwriting sometimes, though. Okay, so so I guess we'll go with this one, and then we'll go from there. But what's something you want people to know about you that doesn't usually come across in a normal conversation, or at least right away when you get to know somebody, but you really hope comes across eventually?
That's a great, actually. A great one.
Oh.
I feel like the first thing, at least from another perspective, is like, I remember when we would go to different places, and you could be quiet at times, but you're a lot, you're a lot more than just the first. Like everybody's a little bit more than their first conversation that they have with somebody, but you're a lot deeper than, and I don't know.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think just I don't know, like I guess like I don't know, I've been told by so many different people so many different things,
Mm-hmm.
It's just really hard to pin it down. Like I get pretty obsessive over like my weight because I was once fat. I get pretty obsessive over the next song I'm writing, but I don't know. I don't. I mean, I do care what people think, but on the other hand, I don't. Because it's like one voice telling you that you're not good enough, and another voice telling you that it doesn't matter how good you are, they're gonna hate you anyway, and you should just do your own thing, which I guess is a pretty negative aspect. So I guess one thing that I would want people to think or know about me is that I often try to be a positive guy.
Yeah.
Which I don't think comes off very well in this context or really any context, but I try to be positive. It's just kind of like a consistent losing battle in your head all the time. Yeah. But I'm trying, that would, because I feel like the stuff I was singing about, like we don't have happy songs. One happy song. We have songs that sound happy, but they're not happy. I don't think I have one song that I'm like, yeah, that was a real joyful emotion on that one. Like it's all pretty negative, but I'm doing that because I'm trying to get it out. I don't want it to stay inside, I wanted that to come out so there's room for growth and other things. I try to be a positive guy and look for the good. I guess would be my what I want people to know about me.
I like that. What about you, Jarhead?
I mean, yeah, I can understand that. But there is one thing I've been trying to remember because I fucking forget all the time. I want to ask every artist that I know about this. There was one thing I found on TikTok by a guy I watched called Anti-Steezy, and he is like big in the music industry and also like skateboarding and stuff. But he is also pushing for this one thing. I always forget the name of it. But the whole concept is it's on Spotify, and it's basically artists that are pushing for destroying
I know exactly what you mean. I remember that video.
Just the artist.
He's like, you're like, wasn't he trying to say that like you should make deals with the direct distributors yourself or something like that?
Basically.
Well, listen, that's not gonna happen. Like,
I also think that too, but
you get a thing. And with everything, oversaturation is the problem, especially with the internet these days. There is no fucking way a national distributor is going to give you the time of day unless you have millions of dollars to throw at them. And that's just not how it works. I don't know. I don't know too many rock bands that started off rich. Do you? I don't.
Mm-mm.
Like there was gatekeepers, there was people keeping things in line, and I'm 100% down for people being able to express themselves, creatively and having every access to, ways to let that happen. But that's just not how business works. Like businesses aren't there's only so much market value out there for everyone,
Yeah.
In a it's kind of like. Hypothetically, that's kind of like communism for music, where everybody gets the same equal platform, and in a vacuum it works, but in reality it falls apart because people are shit and greedy, and there's going to be one guy trying to take more than everybody else. And if everybody had the same distribution opportunities, then there'd just be one guy fucking some guy over, and then we'd all be fucked, because once it's not equal for one person, it's not equal for anyone. And I know that you have examples like Russ. Like, Russ always kind of talks about, like, oh, you need to go, like, you should put yourself in a position where you go directly to the label. You should put yourself in a position where the label's coming to you. Like, you have a fan base coming to you. And in that case, it's like, yeah, but you had... Yeah, I mean, probably it's a piss. But Russ had, like, 2 platinum singles before, you know, he came to that point. Like, he wasn't successful like that for a while. Like, he had to work. He had to work his way up to get to a point where, like, he was... And a lot of people are either not dedicated enough or they just don't have it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like... In a vacuum, in a perfect world, everything works. But,
yeah.
And then honestly, the fact that the guy even suggested something like that means that he probably just has something out against, you know.
Yeah.
But I
what do you think
understand.
about Lil Darky though? He's done some pretty wild shit. Like, he said some wild shit, and he said
Lil
he's
Durk?
not Lil Darky.
Who I've never heard of him.
He like blew up on TikTok, and now he's getting like millions of views, being his own animator and being his own, like, he makes his own music basically, and like it sells and everything. He does it basically all by himself.
Yeah.
But he all started from nothing. It's kind of amazing when I watch interviews about him.
That sounds cool. The only thing that really concerns me with social media based fandom is it's kind of like lightning in a bottle, where it's there for a second and gone
It's
the next
completely
day.
fleeting.
It's really, yeah, I don't know if you're gonna have a long run out of social media fame, because you look at, like, people like the Jake Paul brothers, and they're so desperate.
Yeah,
because it's fleeting. Like, they were at one point top of the platform, but the way things are consumed these days on the internet specifically, it's almost impossible to hold anyone's attention for longer than a couple weeks, maybe a month.
Very true.
Look at 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is barely gonna sell 50K.
I just saw that.
He just had a song that has over 200 million Spotify streams, because virality doesn't equal fandom. It, like, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, it just equals who's gonna click at that moment.
And I'm not trying. Little Darky is his name.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to discredit anything that he's got going for him, because it's more than me. I promise you that. But at the same time, I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna like Rush. Rush have had the same fucking fans for 50 years. I don't know if people are gonna know who Little Darky is in a month, just because the platform that he showed up on doesn't have any longevity. Like, I feel like TikTok, it's just so numbing. It's just so
he said that
much.
He said that he used it as like an ad. Like, so what he did was he realized that, like, if you upload anything on TikTok, basically it's automatically gonna get 300 views. So he was like, if I put something really catchy on TikTok, it's gonna attract a lot of people to me. And he also has, like, this Filthy Frank thing. So he also says a lot of, like, shit that, like, people are like, oh, that's offensive. And then he said he's not accepting any record labels or anything until it gets verified, because then at that point he can basically say whatever he wants in his music. Like, he gets whatever he says, because if we're gonna accept him after all the shit that he said now, then you probably get what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure. I understand. I understand that TikTok is, like, huge right now, but it's also really fucking cringy. And
I mean, it just shows too that they almost took that entire app down like a couple months ago. So it could have been done right there. Oh yeah. I mean, it's free advertising.
Smart. I mean, Russ did all sorts of stuff like that with what's that fucking app?
Tidal?
No, it's
Fine.
Kuya did it too. It's like some streaming thing. You get money for it. Mm-hmm. Listen, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, but I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, don't worry, I'll be right back. Right before he goes back, just one sec. No, that's just that hot sweatshirt right there. What's up, Gabi? Welcome back. Yes, sir. Oh, sure. Well, anyways, I think that just about wraps it up. So, hopefully we can have you on again sometime soon. We can go through some different topics. I figured we would just keep this one to the band and, helping get some awareness out. And we appreciate you having the time to come through. Next time we should.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Next time we should have Zach and Dan on too, and just get everybody up and just have a shit show of a podcast. That'll be pretty fun. Just a shit show, but so
just be like all the homies in the Zoom call.
Exactly, that'd be pretty fun. But anyways, so right before we head off, do you have anything else you wanna pimp out? You wanna talk about some shows coming up, some new music? You said something was happening in October.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Okay, no teasers.
No promises about anything just quite yet, but it's in the works. October.
And then nothing happens. They're like, "Why? Come."
I thought I was about to drop a news bomb on the Knights Around the Table podcast, but no Afterimage.
Insider sneak peek.
Yeah, we were about to get 2 extra clicks because of that. Jesus.
No, you don't need them.
Don't need that. No.
How many people are watching this?
Right. We don't do it. We like record it and then put it over after, so I can edit it and stuff. But
do you put it on Discord or does it go on YouTube?
Put it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Sick. So we can like watch this later.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna fix.
Hello, Gabi from the future.
You're making yourself proud right now. Especially.
I'll probably hate everything I'm saying right now. The fact that I'm still talking is gonna piss future Gabi off.
It's pretty good. No, you've been pretty good tonight, especially with the fit.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed listening.
The beard combo with that sweatshirt works.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys having me.
Of course. Well,
I don't know anything quite yet. Let's just say that we're doing a little bit of filming this Sunday for some.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, I see it.
I heard there might be a blood moon on October 30th,
What? Wait a second. What? News drop. All right. Well, yeah. All the links to everything Afterimage will be down in the description. Everything Jarhead and myself and Dan as well. Even though he couldn't make it tonight, he's probably sleeping.
Go support Afterimage, bro.
Yeah, go support Afterimage. Get some good music in your life. You need it. Oh, okay. In the arms of the All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into episode number 2 of Knights Around the Table podcast. We'll hopefully be back next week, but there are no promises. So yeah,
there are no promises.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, and see you in the next one.